I'm going to inherit his 800K asset and this mansion that he owned because I'm his wife. What?
Trouble busters!
My brother's funeral was finished just now. He was the only family that I had in this entire world. Our parents passed away when we were little, and my brother had done anything to raise me to this day. And Kayla, his wife, showed up out of nowhere despite she never even attended the funeral.
I guess it's finally over.
Oh, Kayla, why? Why didn't you attend the funeral?
Give me a break. Funerals are shady.
Why are you here then?
I'm here to declare to you guys.
Declare?
Yep. I'm going to inherit his 800K asset and this mansion that he owned because I'm his wife.
Huh?
Oh, I've been looking forward to this day for such a long time. Stephen has always been such a boring guy. He was always working, but then I'm grateful that he now turned into good money for me.
That's terrible. How dare you say that? My brother has always worked so hard to raise me.
I married him because I wanted his money.
What did you just say?
I'm telling you that I married your brother because I wanted to inherit his assets, not for anything else. I've been waiting every day, waiting until this very day that he'd turn into my money.
My brother had never missed a back-to-school night, no matter how busy he was with work. He made his lunch for my field trip, even though he had never cooked before. He was always there to cheer me up when I got into a fight with my friend. I can't take this. Oh, Stephen.
I'm not letting her get away with this. Trouble busters! So now I don't need to waste my time talking to a stranger. Can you please just leave?
May I ask why?
I'm telling you that everything belongs to me now. Your brother's assets, this property, and the house. What are you guys laughing about, huh? Am I not making sense to you guys? I'm Stephen's spouse, and I'm legally the person who will inherit everything he owned.
Oh, are you sure about that?
What?
You called yourself the spouse.
And you said legally.
And what's so funny about that?
You filed a divorce with my brother, Kayla.
What? So what?
Huh?
Even though I filed a divorce with him, it doesn't change the fact that I used to be his wife. This means that I used to be his spouse, so I should be the one who inherits everything from him.
What makes you think you would have the right to his inheritance when you're no longer his spouse?
Huh?
The moment you filed a divorce with him, you're no longer the current spouse.
Just as you said, you used to be his spouse.
Which makes you a stranger to him at that point.
What? Does that mean I don't even get anything?
Of course not!
Fine, but his son would have the right to claim for inheritance, so why don't you look into that?
His son? I don't think you guys had a son. Did you?
Matthew, can you come over here for a second?
Who is that?
I told you, he's my son.
Nice to meet you. I'm Matthew, and I'm Kayla's son. Stephen never said that he had a son. Of course not.
What do you mean?
Matthew was my adopted son before I got married to Stephen, and he's been living in a separate apartment all this time.
What for?
Oh, you know it. I had him on standby in case of a situation like this. Just in case I ended up not having the right to claim for his inheritance, I made sure I had a son so my child would have the right to claim.
Mr. Trevor?
In this case, Matthew does not hold the right to claim Stephen's inheritance.
What?
Matthew has never technically been an adopted child of Stephen's, so Matthew does not have the right to a claim for inheritance.
Hold on a second.
Yes?
Back when I was still married to Stephen, Matthew was considered our legal child. Doesn't that mean that Matthew was technically Stephen's adopted child?
It would seem that way.
Right?
However, in order for Matthew to have the right to claim Stephen's inheritance, Matthew would have had to become a directly adopted child of Stephen.
What?
What the heck? Kayla, you never told me any of this.
It's okay. I used to study law back when I was in college. I got this. So, what if Stephen left a will?
Huh?
Here, check this out.
What?
Really? Do you get it now? Stephen left a will that states that Matthew will inherit all assets. I guess you can't help but be shocked when you see something like this.
We're just
We're just amazed that the will you have in your hand
Looks almost as if it was real.
What?
It looks like you made sure the writing looks as close to Stephen's handwriting as possible. First of all, let me point out the verbatim "will inherit."
What's wrong with that?
If this was a real notarized will, a legal witness such as a lawyer would join as the document is being prepared. It would state the wish that the deceased would gift the asset to certain individuals instead of will inherit.
Huh? It also looks like this will was a printed copy and not the original. Did you find an image of that stamp online and paste on that copy?
No, that's not true. I just made sure that I kept the original safe at my house.
Oh, that's strange. If this was a real notarized will, it should be kept at the notary, not at your house.
Oh, that's right. I have it at the notary, and I just picked it up because my husband passed away.
In that case, may I ask if the person who is the notarized witness had handwritten their name on this will?
Of course they did. This will was officially made with a notary.
I see. So you're saying that someone else had signed the witness's signature on behalf of that person, correct?
What is your problem? What are you trying to tell me?
The problem is the fact that
This will...
is fake.
What? That's not possible. This is Stephen's handwriting, and it's in the proper format that it's supposed to be in.
This isn't my brother's handwriting.
What? How can you be so sure?
This handwriting almost looks like my brother's handwriting, but it's not as fluid as my brother's.
What?
My brother had been in calligraphy. He would never have written so solidly the way this will is written.
Oh, you can't be so sure about that. You're saying this as if Stephen never wrote this will, but you're not a graphoanalyst or anything. You can't just say these things when you have no idea what you're saying.
Just for your information, graphoanalysts can be sometimes vague with their standards depending on who you hire.
What?
The graphoanalyst that you're likely talking about is not an official occupation, but it's more of a civil certificate.
So what? This girl doesn't even have that civil certificate. She has no right to refute this will just because of the way the handwriting looks.
No, even if we don't hire someone like that, we already know that the will you have in your hand is forged.
But I'm telling you that it's real.
That's not possible.
What?
I mean, the real will is right here.
What? No way. You're kidding.
Stephen used to be a lawyer. He made sure he had a notarized will for his assets in case anything had happened to him.
Especially when he had someone like you waiting around for him to pass away.
God damn it.
The fact that you faked this will means that you've committed a crime of forging a private and sealed document. You can be sentenced to at least 3 months up to 5 years of imprisonment.
Since you made a fake notarized will, this is considered a forgery of official documents. This tends to be considered a worse crime than forging private documents, which means you may be sentenced to at least 1 year or up to 10 years of imprisonment.
Aww.
But hold on! The only people who know about this are you guys and us at this point. As long as we keep this within us, we'll be okay, right?
I knew it.
Huh?
You said we'll be okay. Does this mean that you consider yourself a part of this?
What do you mean?
You're her accomplice, aren't you?
No, I never signed on behalf of the witness or anything.
There we go.
Kayla's adopted child, Matthew, has signed on behalf of a third person. I said I never...
Matthew, just let me handle this.
We will be filing a police report regarding this. What?
But you guys don't have anything to do with this. It's a family problem. You don't need to file a police report.
We're obligated to. It's the law.
What?
When an individual fails to report a crime that amounts to aiding or abetting the offense, that individual may be charged with a crime. No, you can't do that.
I don't care if I get caught. Just give me the money first.
What?
If Matthew and I get arrested, the entire $800K is going to be turned into the state, right?
So all you care about is the money.
Of course. I've been telling you that I married Stephen just because I wanted to inherit his assets.
That's too bad.
What?
The moment you filed a divorce with Stephen, the person who will inherit his assets became...
Me, at that point.
What? All $800K?
That's right.
What about the division of assets?
Don't you recall that Stephen gave you a copy of all documents upon filing the divorce?
But he didn't give me much. Besides, he never gave me any portion of his property either.
This house was owned by Stephen before he even married you, and therefore it's not subject for the division of assets upon filing a divorce.
What? Then what about his savings account? I know he had money in his savings, but he didn't give me a single penny.
But the two of you have lived separately for quite a while before you filed a divorce, right?
So what if that was true?
When a spouse builds savings or owns property after living separately, those assets are not subject for division upon filing for a divorce.
What? That bastard. He never saved any money when he lived with me, and all he did was donate all the extra money he had. No wonder he started saving money after we lived separately. He must have known what he was doing. This isn't fair. You married my brother because you wanted his assets, and you made my brother do that to you. Oh, shut up. So what about the insurance?
Yes?
I said the insurance, his life insurance. I know he put my name as his beneficiary when he was enrolling in life insurance since we were still married. What about that? Is this what you're talking about? What the? Why is your name on there and not mine? You must have forged this document.
That's not possible. I only found out about this just earlier today.
You're lying.
She's not lying. Besides, Stephen changed his life insurance beneficiary to Helen the moment the two of you started living separately.
That bastard!
I don't think being upset with my brother is going to do any good for you right now.
Oh, shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about. So just shut your mouth.
Oh, I know what I'm talking about.
What?
He wrote everything about the marriage he had with you when he was writing me in a letter that he left with the notarized will.
A letter?
He wrote that he decided to live apart from you because you've been cheating on him. He tried talking to you multiple times, but you would keep cheating on him, and that's why he ultimately broke up with you.
Oh, who cares about that? It has nothing to do with this.
But this is going to be important regarding the settlement that you're about to pay.
Settlement? What about it? The person who's supposed to take that payment is no longer alive. I have nothing to do with you.
I've also inherited the right to claim settlement from you.
What did you say?
Didn't you know that a person could inherit the right to claim for settlement?
What does that mean?
As you might be starting to realize, the person who will be claiming the settlement will now be Helen instead of Stephen. Nothing else will change, and you're still obligated to continue making the payments you have been making.
That's not fair. I still owe $89.3K when I'm not even going to inherit a single penny. How am I supposed to pay for it? Helen, why don't you decline the inheritance?
What the?
You used to be my sister-in-law. Why don't you decline the inheritance to help me out?
You're not my sister-in-law.
What?
You didn't even care to attend my brother's funeral. He was the very last family member that I had in this entire world. I'm telling you that I don't consider you my family.
What's your problem? I used to be your brother's wife.
And that's what makes me even more upset about this. My brother used to be such a nice person, and all you did was to break his heart all the time. And you're telling me that you only married him because you wanted his money? I'm not going to forgive you no matter what.
Look, I wasn't the only person at fault here. Your brother was a boring man. Why? Huh?
Why didn't you choose to make my brother happy? You were his wife, and you could have made him happier than anyone else could have. He's done everything for me. Wherever he wanted to go, whatever he wanted to do. He sacrificed so much for me, and I was so happy that he finally found happiness. At least he was supposed to become happy, but you ruined his life.
Oh, stop taking it out on me.
What?
Your brother just happened to choose me to become his wife. That's all there is to this.
I can't believe you still don't care enough to give a single word of apology.
That bastard didn't even leave a single penny for me. Why would I? Fine, that's it. I don't care how you feel about me.
I am going to personally file a lawsuit against you.
What?
Matthew, you became an adopted child of Kayla because you also wanted a share of my brother's money. I'm not leaving you out of this either.
What? Me? But I have nothing to do with this. Oh.
I'll make a note of the committed theft.
What the heck have you done, Matthew?
I went to the bathroom and no one was watching over these, so...
Do you even realize what you've done?
You're also going to be charged for trespassing.
What?
What did you think? I inherited this property and you entered it without my permission.
Wait, hold on. I walked in here because I thought I owned this property.
It's okay now.
What? What do you mean it's okay? I'm not going to forgive you for anything you've done or do, no matter what you tell me. And I'm going to make sure everyone who knows you will be made aware of this incident too. So you better be ready for this. If you really do anything like that, I'm going to make sure I retaliate against you.
That's right, we're gonna make sure you can't walk on the streets. Making a note of the committed threat.
Look, it sounds like you're misunderstanding something. I married that boring man who had nothing but money and spent my precious time with him. Do you get it? I even believe that he should be the one who should be paying me to compromise my pain and suffer for spending time with such a boring guy. And I've been stuck up thinking that I'll get the $800K asset in his house. I've been looking forward to this day and you've ruined it all for me.
Wow, this is the first time you're saying what Steven used to say.
What?
Steven used to tell us all the time.
He used to tell us that the biggest mistake in his life was the fact that he chose to marry you, ever.
That bastard!
You'll have plenty of time in life to think about what you've done and regret everything.
What?
I'm saying that you have plenty of time to regret what you've done and learn your lesson, even if it's going to take you decades to realize what you've done, as you remember about my brother.
You're kidding me. Wait, what? Why?
I saw a stranger around these premises as I was walking towards this house, so I made sure I called the police.
What the heck? How dare you do this to me?
Wait, I have nothing to do with this. Just stop giving excuses.
We're not going to forgive you for what you've done to our colleague. Justice will serve right to you guys. Both Kayla and Matthew were sentenced to parole in addition to the penalties that they were charged with. I made sure their families and workplaces were let known about what they had done, while I overheard that they both voluntarily resigned from their jobs. Neither of them was accepted back at their parents' house since everyone knew what they had done. Mr. Trevor told me that they now live somewhere far away as they work day and night to pay for the settlement they owe me and my brother. As for me, I was able to marry my fiancé shortly after my brother's passing. I was sad that my brother couldn't make it to my wedding, but I'm sure he was watching me from heaven to bless us. Trouble Busters!